top right from Force India. In the middle, Antonio Cucurella from HRT, and then Graham Loudon from Marussia, and then on the bottom right, Mark Gillen from Williams and Jonathan Neal from McLaren. Thank you very much for coming, gentlemen. At least it's dry where you are. First of all, if we can start quickly with Antonio. Today there was an incident in the pit lane with one of your mechanics and Pedro de la Rosa. Just to clear up any misconceptions, any misunderstandings, can you tell us how your mechanic is?
The mechanic...
Going to have to talk very loudly.
I don't think... Oh, now. The mechanic, I think, where we are happily is okay. Just got some bruises and a swollen knee. So it looked worse when it happened, but luckily now he's going to be back with us probably tonight from hospital. Has been done some checks, but it's really nothing important. It's going to have some pain, but is in a few days going to go back to work.
No broken bones?
No, not at all.
No. Okay, thank you. Good. Andrew, we'll start the press conference then. Andrew, if I can talk to you first of all. Your drivers are expecting updates, as they told us yesterday, or at least Paul di Resta told us yesterday. What's the situation? Are you going to be able to deliver those updates?
We're going to follow the same plan that we did last year, which is we'll continually bring new parts to the track every race as a strategy that we've followed for quite, as most teams do. We will deliver what we can. That's our target. There's updates here. There'll be updates in Valencia, and there'll be a bigger one at Silverstone. But it's that's the idea. We'll keep pushing. It's incredibly tight, and fractions of a second now can mean multiple places on the grid. So it's harder than ever. So yeah, there's a big push back at the factory. Yeah, more than ever.
Well, both drivers very well placed in Monaco and today as well. How well are those two working together, and how good is it to have two competitive drivers perhaps pushing one another as well?
Yeah, very important. It's also important that they're both team players, so they know they want to push the team forward as well as they're not just individuals, and they work as a team, and we all work as a team pushing the team forward, and they get pulled along with that. They both work together very well. It's good that they both push each other. They're both very talented, extremely talented. We're very happy with the way they work. It's a nice place to be.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Antonio, you've been in your new premises now for over a month. Are you beginning to see benefits from that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's all right, it'll come on.
It's working now. Absolutely. It's now we are all together under the same roof, and that has been a massive step forward for us. The factory is a much better place, or let's say, it's the place where we can work all together, and communication-wise is of course much better. And assembling the cars, engineering, marketing, finance, all departments all together, of course, is normal for everybody, but it was not for us. So, big step forward.
I guess it's not working at 100% of what you hoped, but what sort of percentage is it?
Well, we still got two big departments that are now recruiting. We are recruiting people, as probably you've seen a lot of advertisements, but I would say probably we are at 60% there working. So I hope by the end of the year we should be more than 90%.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Graham, same thing with you really, because you moved into new premises. How much of a difference has that made?
It has made quite a big difference. You know, we've 3 years in Formula One and we're on to our second factory already. I think the main thing, has already been said, is it improves communication, and that's been a big help. And so, you know, we're quite happy with the location we're in now.
And I believe you're going to the fan forum in New York on Monday. What are the thoughts behind that?
I think, you know, all the teams are pretty much the same. You know, we're racing teams, but we're manufacturing businesses working in a global market, and you can't ignore North America. And, you know, no company with global aspirations, if you like, can ignore such a big market. And Formula One's been out of North America for a few years now. I think it is a very important marketplace. One thing we do know is that there's a huge response from the fans. They want to get close to the teams. They want to understand what's happening, and it's a really good thing that we can take our drivers, talk to the fans, interact with them, really understand what it is that they enjoy about Formula One, and try and give a little bit back. And as I say, it's such an important marketplace that with its heritage and history, and you look at the car manufacturing base in North America as well. That I think we have to make a really big effort and and try and put on a great show for all the fans.
Well, I hope it's a success. Jonathan, today we saw Jenson in the pits for rather a long time. What exactly happened there?
Yeah, we had a mixed day today. Jenson this morning in P1 had an oil leak which was leaking onto the clutch, and we thought we'd fixed it. The oil leak was in the gearbox. The mechanics did a great job in rebuilding or repairing the seal, but as soon as we fired the car up, we could see there was a secondary problem that hadn't revealed itself before that time. And unfortunately, we had to change the gearbox and the whole rear end of Jenson's car. So disappointing that we didn't get the mileage in that we were looking for. But I have to say, hats off to the mechanics and anybody who was pointing a camera in the garage. And on Lewis's side as well, the moment that Lewis's car had left the garage, all of the mechanics came across to help Jenson get running, and that was terrific. So, but on the other hand, a great day for Lewis. We know that the pace is in the car here. It looks strong today. Today is today, and listening to what's going on around us, who knows what tomorrow brings. But yeah, I think we're here to race hard this weekend, and getting Jenson out was really important. You could see him setting green sector after green sector, and this is a circuit where you have to build confidence and feel that the car is underneath you. We saw a few people visit the wall this afternoon, and to be quick around here, you've got to get close.
Mm. How much of a worry are too little deficiencies within the drivers? I mean, we're used to seeing Lewis winning, for example, but he hasn't yet won this year. And Jenson seems to have just had a few races of, I don't know if you call it bad luck or what it is, but how much can you build those performances back up?
I think we can build them up well, actually. You're right, we've had a couple of ups and downs in the last few races, some operational issues, which hopefully we put behind us now. We've got two strong drivers, and when we were, Lewis put the car on pole by over half a second in Spain, which is a pretty demanding circuit, as colleagues here will attest. We know that the package is good, but it's very tight this year. 6 races, 6 different winners, 5 different constructors at the time. So, as I said during the week, great if you're a fan of Formula One, and stressful if you're trying to be consistent. But consistency is what it's about.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much, Mark. Looking back at Monaco, particularly after the victory in Spain, where do you think you could or should have been in Monaco? Could you have been better off in Monaco?
Yes, I mean, obviously after the Barcelona win, we were very much on a high. Going into Monaco, we had high expectations, and I think the car certainly was, we should have been good enough for sort of P4, P5. Obviously, it was disappointing. There's a range of issues that hit us through the weekend, and I think that, as a team, collectively, we could have done a better job, and we look to make amends this weekend.
So, what sort of effect has Renault coming back to the team had on the team? Has that been a good...
I mean, it's had a massive impact. They've been very, very impressive as an engine manufacturer, and they've slotted in seamlessly in with the team, and there's been a very, very good relationship built up very quickly, and things are going very well with them.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. It was going to be quite a small, short press conference, but maybe you don't actually want to leave. But I'll ask any questions. Any questions from anyone? Yeah.
Sébastien Templier from La Presse. This is for Mark-Gillan. You have tasted a new rear wing today, I guess. And so what are the difference? Did it improve the car today?
Yes, I mean, we have a new rear wing here this weekend for Montreal, and it was tested with Pastor this morning and run with both drivers this afternoon, and is working well.
Some more questions.
Yeah, for all teams, really. Just about the tyres, we've all been talking about tyres, I know, so much this year already, but how much data have you now been able to gather from the first 6 races? And now, with that data, can you really now begin to get an idea of what to do with these tyres come lots of different conditions? Presumably there are some pretty serious computers trying to work on this at the same time as people intuitively trying to get the settings right.
Who'd like to start with that one?
I'll have a crack at that first, if you like. Have we got enough data? Yes, we've got, as you can imagine, a huge amount of data, as everybody else has. In terms of making sense of it, it's not a trivial question. The interaction between track temperature, the vehicle dynamics of the car, the driving style, the ability of cars. We've seen at different circuits, different people being able to switch the tyres on very quickly and others taking much longer to warm up. We're all chasing the same thing, which is the first team to become consistent and get them in the sweet spot. I think we've seen it on a couple of occasions ourselves where we've had, particularly with Jensen, the car in the right place on a Friday and then not on a Saturday because it's that elusive thing has slipped away from us. So they're definitely more peaky than they have been, but I think I wouldn't like to claim for a minute that we've cracked it. We're working harder. We think we understand more about it, but it's hard work.
I mean, I'd agree with Jonathan. I mean, it is a very difficult problem, and it's interlinked with the whole car vehicle dynamics, the aerodynamics of the package, the driver styles, and the driver is an incredibly, obviously, important part of the tyre management. So tyre management this year is key, and it's not just about the long runs, it's also about qualifying position, because it has become more difficult, and managing the tyres through the weekend. So the link between the driver, the car, and understanding of the tyres is really crucial this year, and a lot of effort from all the teams will be going into that.
Andrew, anything to add?
No, I agree with the front row. I'd just add that just when you think you're beginning to understand them, they go and do something differently.
Tony, you anything more?
No, I think this is just seeing, not only technically, I think it's good for the show that different teams sometimes can extract the maximum of the tire in some conditions, and in other conditions completely different, the other teams that extract the best. So that, I think, has been proved as a good thing for the show. So technically, we all like to understand everything, but the proof is that we didn't manage all the teams to understand them at the same time.
Yeah, the tyres have really created a fascinating problem, and that's what Formula One's all about. This is the ultimate team game. The drivers are the heroes, but you can't run a team with just 2 drivers, and it takes an awful lot of technical knowledge and as you said as well, intuition, as well as all of that data. You can be swamped with data and go down blind alleys and that kind of thing. So I think what we're seeing now is all the teams are presented with exactly the same problem, and and this is what this team sport is all about. Who can solve it with the resources that they have, and come out on top on Sunday on race day.
Okay, thank you. So,
Jeff upon the Globe and Mail. Just to follow on that, I'm just wondering, is there going to be a point in this season where you figure out the tires and there's going to be a definite pecking order like there has been in previous seasons, or do you think this is going to continue all year?
Well, that's the plan. But, of course, every one of us, Mark, Graham, the guys here, we'd love to be the first to figure it out and get some kind of advantage. I think that I don't think it is going to quite solve itself like that. I mean, it's still a meritocracy. All the wins so far have been well earned. The colleagues here at Williams did a fantastic job getting a win there, and other teams as well. But I don't think it's just suddenly going to snap and come good, because it's not as if we're trying to solve something that's inherently an issue with the tyre. It's tyre, car, package, circuit, ambient temperature and driver. So it puts us in a different position, and I think that's what makes it exciting. So I think it'll keep it lively all year. As much as I'd love to get it sorted out tomorrow, I don't think we will.
Any further comment on that?
I mean, I'd just say that it's an incredibly complex problem. The tyres are, very non-linear, and it's something that we're all chasing. So you go from track to track, even with the same compounds, and you have to be very careful not to assume anything and collect all the data. So the Friday running becomes a very important part of the data analysis.
Any further comment?
No, I think we're all trying to solve the same problem, but I think every team will probably end up with its own solution.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some more questions? Yes, Ian Parks back here.
Jonathan, you discussed Jensen's problems with the car in some detail earlier on. However, Gary Anderson, I'm sure you know well, the BBC's technical analyst, has had a right pop at the team, saying that you're a world championship winning team, you're world championship winning drivers, taking 4 hours to fix a gearbox issue, that's just not good enough, to use his words. What would you say back to him?
Well, he's entitled to his opinion. I think it helps if you're standing a bit nearer the problem. He's right, though, in terms of these things we don't want to happen. They're not designed to happen, but Formula One cars are designed to be right on the edge. We're all pushing very hard, which is why the grid is very close. From time to time, there'll be a technical problem. It certainly wasn't trivial, and having been back over it this afternoon, I don't think that we missed anything on our first diagnosis that would have led us to believe we were going to have the problem that we did after lunch. So he's entitled to his view.
Any more? Any more? Any more? Any more? No more. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We're delighted to have offered you a nice dry shelter.
Thank you.